Hello beautiful people. Okay, I got back from my festival yesterday, so I've been in the woods for the last 3 days, and it's just been the most amazing, magical, beautiful experience. It's funny, I don't know if you know the sort of spiritual festivals that for 3 days you have all kinds of different workshops and dancing and beautiful music and sitting around the campfire together, and people are just so connected and so loving towards each other, and some of the workshops just break down your defences, so that by the end of it you let go of being strangers to each other, and sometimes you become lifelong friends with people that you've just met randomly. So if you haven't been to one, I suggest that you do. They're only about 50 to 80 quid or something, but the amount of therapy you'd have to go through to get the same effects, it's definitely worth the money. So yeah, this particular festival, yeah, it was a journey, a huge, huge journey. And I'm still in like pretty much crying mode all the time, because I just, like, my heart is just so open, and I'm just so overwhelmed with gratitude for those amazing life lessons, just so amazing. And sometimes we try and control situations so much that I just felt like different things that happened that weekend just showed me the blocks I had, and my ways of like manipulating people, and my lack of self-love, like just all of these huge blocks and issues within myself were just coming up as a mirror, like right in my face, one after another, just like, there's a block there, there's resistance, how can you heal that, and how can you come back into wholeness and oneness, and to authentically be you. And so let me think, the huge amounts of things I did that weekend, which is crazy. So I did like a rebirthing workshop, which was like breath of fire, like hyperventilating for a while. And yeah, it's amazing how different things over the years treat you differently, because if I did a workshop like that in the past, I'd be like, I'm just hyperventilating, like, this isn't very safe, I don't feel like it's good for my body, because I was constantly in this victim mode that my body's weak and I've got to look after my little tiny me kind of thing. Whereas now I'm like, I have this power within me, I can do this, I can get through this, even if I'm uncomfortable or I'm in pain emotionally or physically, I can get through it. I'm not that weak person anymore. And yeah, just like with that, and then like the shamanic journey I did and stuff, I just got to these just amazing places of just universal oneness and love and connection with the divine, and just feeling connected to God, and just pure bliss. So those were the nice experiences. And then I did, what particularly got me was on Saturday, I did like a dance workshop in the morning that was like the day before I did a dance workshop that was more kind of joyful and expansive, and I was like, I feel amazing, it just feels so beautiful to be in my body, it just feels so expansive, and I feel confident, and I feel like I'm stepping into like the divine feminine and being all that I am, and not being afraid to be who I am in my body. And then the dance the next day was like more working with deep issues and letting go of resistance and blocks and things. And he was trying to get us to be like, yeah, shout, shout out, scream, and I was like, I'm not feeling it, I don't want to do that. I'm feeling that block, I don't want to vocalize my anger and stuff, because sometimes I repress my anger. But then I was like, okay, just internally feel it, feel that resistance. And then just within me, I was just like, just that darkness within me just came up, and I was just like suddenly it was just like, wow, I feel fucking sad. I was just like, I don't want to be abandoned. I don't want, like, what was coming up was how I wanted other people to love me so that I could love myself, and that I'm learning to love myself anyway. But then I felt like I was pushing it out there in that moment. I was kind of angry, and I was saying to the people in my life that I wanted to love me, just like, why aren't you there for me, kind of thing. And kind of like with my partner and people, just like, why can't you be there in the way for me that I want you to be there, and why can't you see me in the way that I want you to see me? And then I was just kind of like, just fell apart, and I was just crying, and then just like letting all of that go. And then within me it was like, just seeing that, no, these people are mirrors for you. They're not, it's not their job to do that. It's my job to love myself, and then to send that love out to people, but I can't control people. And it was kind of me seeing how much I try and control other people, and that's not just behaviourally, that's like mentally and stuff as well. So we're getting so deeply into the root of who we are that it's not enough just to behave in a way that you think is in alignment with being a spiritual, compassionate person, but it's also seeing like, how am I manipulating people in other ways, just in my head, like imagining, like giving mixed signals and stuff all the time, like in my body language and everything. So we're being put through the spin cycle of just every block coming up to be lovingly faced head on, to let go of those issues, to really step into unconditional love that we are, and to come back into realizing that we are the divine, and we're perfect as we are, in all of our craziness and all of those things that we do, where we realize how selfish we can be, and how we're not being unconditionally loving. We have compassion and unconditional love for us not being perfect. So it is a really beautiful path. It sounds scary, and it is scary. But the payoff is just huge if we're willing to face our darkness head on, and to be completely honest with ourselves. So like, I have that ego part of me, like that damaged inner child, that's just like why is this situation happening to me? Why can't I just stay where I am? I don't want things to change, because I know I'm gonna have to let go of things to let new things in, kind of thing. It's being able to look at your fears and to say, why do you feel that? Like, where's that come from? And how can you release that resistance and like transmute it back into love again? So for me, I was feeling like along with that, like looking at relationships and love, and trying, like, letting go of the fact that other people should be obligated to love me, like it's your job to do that. No, it's not actually. Realising within myself that little voice that says, no, actually, sorry, it's your job to do that. Sorry, you've become a bit confused in that situation. So, and then I was trying to kind of like with friendships as well, trying to connect with people and stuff, but in that state of sadness. I was just kind of walking around feeling completely alone, just like I need someone to talk to connect with, to make me feel better about myself, because I feel so vulnerable and open, and I just need someone to help me get through that. And then just that like little compassionate inner voice was like, you don't need anyone else, you need to work with you at this moment. You've been given that opportunity to be vulnerable and to be just with yourself. So I took all my stuff and went out through the woods into a field in the middle of nowhere, and just sat by myself and just kind of curled up in a little ball in the sunlight, and just was just happy being me, just in that place, just in nature by myself, and just like soothing myself, just it's okay to be sad, just saying like, I'm here for you, you don't need anyone else to soothe you. So I wrote down a load of stuff, kind of like this resistance that was coming up. I'd be like, I'm sorry that you feel this way, that you feel the need for someone else to make it all better, but I'm here for you to make you feel better. I've never left you. So like all of these different issues, I was just writing them down and then being like, well, just remember, I'm here to help you with that. So don't forget about me, that little you that's inside. And I'm not saying at all that we should just let go of each other, that in self-loving, that you then don't need another person at all in your life, that you become so self-reliant, because the whole point is that we become whole within ourselves, and we become grounded within ourselves to reach our own potential, to love ourselves enough that we're overflowing with so much unconditional love that we can give it to others. And in the grand scheme of things, we're all connected to each other, so by being completely whole, you're able to share that love with other people rather than taking from other people. It's a constant interconnectedness. So ironically, by taking a step back and saying that I can't rely on other people, that it's just me and I can only be responsible for my own happiness and my own vibration, you actually can have much more authentic, beautiful, amazing relationships with other people, because you're not being codependent and you're not trying to manipulate them for their energy. You're grounded in your own wholeness. So yeah, big lessons, big lessons, and it's hard, but it's hard and it breaks you down and it makes you feel really vulnerable. But the payoff is really, really huge. So don't shy away from your own sadness. And within that as well was being able to step into your authenticity and your boundaries. And like for me, it came up as well this weekend, was blocks to do with my speaking and my singing. And I actually did a poetry reading in public, which I was quite proud of myself for being scared but still doing it. And I think I inspired some people. Some people said it was really beautiful, so I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to be able to do that. And then I tried to do a singing workshop, and I just felt it was beautiful, it was really amazing, but I just felt really uncomfortable, and I felt like this block in me. I'm not ready to let go of that yet, so I need to go off by myself. So I went into the forest by myself and meditated in the bluebells, which was really beautiful. And then I did like a little bit of sort of quiet singing to myself around the fire in the evening, and then on the last day I went out into the woods by myself and I just started singing my own kind of soul songs to the forest, and the forest was kind of like I'm here for you to release your resistance. I'm here to hear you, to witness you. There's no pressure and there's no judgment. So it's like the forest was nurturing me and allowing me to let go of my fears and to step into that power of expressing my voice and not worrying about what people think about me all the time. And another block, so many blocks, all of these big old issues, I'm just a fucking mess. But we've got a lot of blocks, we've got a lot of issues that have come up over the years, and by letting them go, like, I've kind of got to the stage now I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna step in the fire and just go through, just release my demons and just step into all that I am. I'm ready to do this now, no matter how scary it is. And yeah, as well, it's kind of like trying to be like pretty and perfect all the time, and like even now just making this video, I was thinking like, oh, I feel a bit like ragged and my hair's a bit of a mess and I'm a bit tired, and you know, it's like on the camera being like, oh, I better put a bit more makeup on so I look a bit better so that people think that I'm perfect. It's like, actually people need to hear that, like, that I'm struggling with those insecurities as well, because everyone is struggling with those insecurities, and someone needs to be the one to step up and say, I'm going through this as well, like I'm a messy little human, and by being vulnerable, you allow other people to say, I feel the same, I feel vulnerable as well, and then we can love ourselves and love each other in that vulnerability, and then support each other fully to step into the light and step into our potential. So the joy that you see in stepping in your own potential and seeing people around you blossoming into who they are is so beautiful. And to do that, to start at the bottom and say, I feel broken, and the other people feel broken too, but then in being broken together we're just being authentic. And I'm just rambling. I'm sorry if you can't keep up with me, I'm talking quite fast, so you might want to slow the video down and just have me like, ooh, being really slow talking instead. But I'm sure I'm probably striking a nerve with some of you, which I'm striking my own nerves, so I'm sure that I'm speaking this in truth because there's a reason that I need to share this with people. And I don't know about you, like with being, well, probably men as well, but being female and trying to be perfect all the time, and I feel like if I'm going to be spiritual and I'm going to be whole and beautiful, then I need to look the part and dress and be this divine goddess that's so wild and free and just perfect all the time, and actually it was kind of what was showing me all of my clothes just getting covered in mud. I'm glad I brought more clothes to the festival because I was just fully getting covered in mud all the time, and then just getting cold as well, so some evenings I just wore like a hoodie, and it's saying like, you don't need to dress up all the time to be perfect. You don't need to be wearing like makeup all the time and dressing perfectly to show that you're a spiritual person, to show that you're beautiful inside, because actually at times I was feeling like I was sort of wearing a hoodie and just wrapped in a blanket sort of thing, but then like I just felt that love and that my soul shining through. I just felt so connected with the beauty that was around me, just the beautiful souls like playing music, that I was just there, just like, I feel I don't need to put on a show for people in this moment, because actually I can sit here and I can be vulnerable. I don't have to talk to people to feel like I'm good enough. I can sit here by myself surrounded by people, but I can just be me in this moment and just enjoying the beauty around me, just enjoying seeing the beautiful people around me. and not having to feel like I have to do something to be better than I am. So I think that issue of surrender, complete surrender, and letting go of control is just such a huge, huge issue. That when you get to that stage, when you have the courage to face that and to really let go, and to be who you really are, the payoff and the way you feel by doing that deep inner work is just so profoundly beautiful. At the festival, it all came together on the last day, on Monday, that I did I think it's a Shakti dance workshop that we did, like some yoga and then some dancing, and then we did some like mantra and meditation stuff. And just like with the dancing and stuff, I was just like, it just feels so amazing to be in my body. Like, it felt so beautiful, like every stretch I was like, oh my god, that feels amazing. Just like orgasmically stretching. Felt so just like beautiful just to be in my body, which is so so rare for me, because I just used to hate being in my body. It felt horrible. So to get to that state is a huge step forwards. And then we just did a like meditation at the end, and I was just felt like I was in just universal oneness and just complete surrendering to God and surrendering to the divine. I was like, I've arrived. I was like, I've been doing all this work, feeling quite shitty, feeling quite disconnected from people, and then by making that space within you, I was like, now I've got that space, and now I'm being filled back up with that divine oneness, that divine energy. And I was like, oh, I've arrived again. I'm back in who I am. Yeah, the highs and the lows of the spiritual path are equally important. There's no one that's better than another. If you try and be expansive and connected to the divine all the time, then you're never fully letting go of those barriers that are opening you up to let more of that in. So actually being able to work through those issues and to let go of stuff and to really surrender pays off hugely when you come back up again in the wave of divine love. Divine love. That's my little dance of it. So I thought there was something else I was about to say. Let me just see if I can remember what it was. I'm not sure. So basically, I'm just so incredibly grateful, just this life that I'm living, and every lesson, everything that's coming up for me. I'm just so incredibly, profoundly, overwhelmingly, joyfully grateful just to be alive and to be having this experience. Even when I'm crying my eyes out and I'm a complete fucking mess, I'm just still so grateful for that experience. To have the chance to be broken down so that I can rise back up again is just a joy in itself. How many of us spend our whole lives being so stuck that we waste our lives not being authentically who we are. So for the chance to really step into my power is just a risk that is worth taking. It's worth investing in yourself. So just last little festival. I'll just talk my last little experiences before I go, because I'm just getting very deep on you now, and I'm sorry for jabbering on for so long. But yeah, just at the festival, just beautiful music. There's this man playing a kora and singing about love, and it just made me so happy. And I saw a shooting star in the sky, and just beautiful synchronicities, just seeing all of my friends and walking in the woods in the complete pitch black and making beautiful magical friends. And what else? Just, I got stuck in mud for 20 minutes. I went for a walk by myself in the woods and I got completely stuck in mud up to the top of my wellies, and I was just completely stuck in there in the rain by myself in the mud, and I was just there hysterically laughing, because I was like, you either got to laugh or you got to cry. Like, this is such a ridiculous situation that it's just so funny. So just magical, crazy, amazing situations. I'm just so overwhelmed, and I'm so happy, and I'm so happy for the future, because I've got so much inspiration for what I want to bring, like what I want to share with people. I just have all these amazing ideas of like ebooks I want to release, and workshops I want to do, and connection, like ceremonies and things, and there's just so many things that I want people to experience that expansion and that amazing connection with divine oneness. And I want us to stop as a community trying to fix each other all the time, trying to be like, I've got there, so I'm going to teach you because you're broken and I'm going to help you. I want to share with people that inner child of being able to give each other permission to step into the magic of life and to celebrate all that we are. And I'm looking forward to sharing that. Yay! So, yeah. So I've shared a lot in that. If you're still actually watching this video, then thank you so much for having the dedication. I appreciate you very much actually listening to my rambling, and I hope you get something out of it, and I get something out of it at least, because it's cathartic for me, and I learn more about myself by watching my own videos as well. Things that, like, I'll come out with things and then I'll be like, oh, that gives me, I teach myself, teach my own lessons. So, yeah, just step into all that you are. Don't be afraid of you, because you're not that scary. And just love who you are, every part of who you are, the fucked up part of who you are. And it's not fucked up at all, it's beautiful. But if you think it's fucked up, then pretend it is, if that helps you. And just put your hands on your heart and just hug yourself now. Do it now. Hug yourself and just say that you love yourself. Just, I love myself. And get ready for the summer of love, because it's coming. I can feel the expansion coming, and I can feel people stepping into their power, and I'm excited. So I hope that you're excited too, because once we've worked through all these issues, our lives are just gonna completely jump off the scale, and the magicalness is just gonna be taken to a whole other level entirely, and I'm excited. So yeah, it's good that I think I should probably not be with people right now, because otherwise I'd be jumping on people like an excited dog and like wagging my tail and stuff. I need a bit of time to work on my boundaries. So lots and lots and lots and lots of love, and lots of universal oneness and connection with the universe and all that we are, and lots of love. Thank